Lyft's CEO Dave Risher sits down with Jim Cramer as he discusses their latest projects and advertising. Their goal is to give customers, drivers, and riders more than a simple ride, like Apple TV Plus games. Risher says Lyft's focus on purpose has helped them succeed for years by inspiring people to join and help. He also analyzes how recent advertising initiatives have boosted earnings and stock performance. Women Please Connect and Guaranteed Airport Pickup have further improved Lyft's offers. Risher emphasizes the company's dedication to drivers, riders, and corporate growth.
That's enough for you to take one of those Ubers. It's a huge mistake for you to take, but there you go.
No, okay, so these kinds of things we're no stranger with you. You're an inventive person. Your background is about invention and creativity. Every one of the things, look, Women and Connect, we can just look at these things. You are it's a cauldron up there, and not one of those crazy ones that we saw from some other guy who has a car company. Well, tell me how you come up with these ideas, and tell me if you think they're working, because I know you're also a very tough benchmarker of yourself.
Yeah. So I do think they're working, and I'll give you two reasons for that. So number one, if you look at when I started, we were up 10% year on year in ride growth. Second quarter I was there, we were up 17%. Now we're up over 20%. That's accelerating growth in a market where that is not always the case, number one. Number two, we're able to bring out new innovations. You mentioned Women Plus Connect. So this is a way for women riders and drivers to choose to ride with each other. And it's a game changer. If you've seen some of the social media on it, people love it. And it's understandable why. It feels safe. It feels comfortable. It feels like I've got a comrade in the car. And then number three, let's talk about airports one more time. We've given about 2.5 million rides just in the last couple of weeks, just to airports, 2.5 million rides. Guess how many, and I'll ask you the question, out of those 2.5 million rides, guess how many we were so late that we actually had to pay for your Uber? How many? Pick a number.
All right, I'll say 10%.
10%, so that'd be 250,000 rides. The actual number, 72 rides. 72 rides.
72 actual,
no,
not
72 rides.
72 rides.
Yeah, 0.01%.
So this is a decent bet by you.
This is a decent bet. So the question or the answer to how do we come up with our ideas, we obsess over our riders, we obsess over our drivers, and we over-deliver.
Well, I think this is really an important point to point out that the way people have been incorrectly valuing your stock is, I don't mean to pick on anyone, but Jefferies has the standard. Recap, accelerating but still losing ground. And, of course, that's a comparison to Uber. I think all comparisons are fatuous. You're comparing yourself, and that's what matters.
Yep.
And how would you grade yourself?
Yeah. So I compare myself to what our customers want. Okay. That's what I do. And our thesis, to be clear, is customer obsession drives enterprise value. Customer obsession drives enterprise value. Okay. The more we obsess over our customers, the bigger, more successful we're going to get. So I grade myself well. Why? Because I see Women Plus Connect. I see airport pickup. I see accelerating growth. I see drivers. We have 40%, 45% more driver hours now than we had a year ago.
I was just going to point out the 45. I was going to point that out because these are the kind of metrics people should be looking at.
Yeah.
You needed to reestablish this, and the way to reestablish it is more and more drivers. Not necessarily. I mean, I could ask you for adjusted EBITDA. It really isn't yet the right time.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It will be, to be clear. We're building a healthy, growing business. But the most important thing now is look at the inputs. I'll tell you one other thing that nobody else knows, and this is something that most companies don't talk about. When I joined, if you look at how our employees are experiencing our company, okay, we run surveys like most companies do about every quarter, and our employee confidence level was low. It was low, a historic low level. And you can kind of understand why. It then grew. And then we just released we just saw the results just yesterday of our most recent one. It is the highest it has been in 4 years, employee confidence index. What that tells you is that the thousands and thousands, 3,000 plus team members who work for Lyft are starting to believe. They believe in our purpose. They believe in our execution. That's a leading indicator. That, how well we're doing for our customers, our riders, our drivers, that's what people should be looking at. Not EBITDA, that's down the road.
Well, there's also a flywheel effect. I know an overdone term, but I look at the advertisers you have for Lyft Media.
Yeah.
I first thought maybe these would be, kind of bargain basement guys. Ambulance chasers. Apple, not an ambulance chaser.
Apple's not an ambulance chaser. Not only that, they've re-upped and re-upped again. They're very consistent. And to be clear, what's happening here is they're recognizing you've got a person who's sitting in a car. The average number of times a person checks their Lyft app in the car is 10 different times. They look, am I there? And so instead of checking your app over and over again, you're getting to play a game on Apple. You're getting a free, Apple TV Plus subscription. it's really interesting to see, actually, even our riders are liking it. And by the way, you know who else benefits?
No.
Drivers. Drivers. When we do advertising and you're taking a ride, drivers actually get paid more, too.
So when I meet my partner, David Faber, tomorrow, and he says, is that Lyft still around? Perhaps I should remind him that you are alive and doing better than this company has, for many, many years.
Yeah, for sure.
And I also, I can't help but mention, you have probably taught more people that I know this, to be literate, to read, than anyone on earth, okay? And you don't talk about it. There are other people who brag about their charity. Is this actually an easier task, what you're doing, than teaching millions of people to read, as you did in Africa?
I appreciate you bringing that up. You know, I don't know which is easier. They both have their challenges, but they're both super interesting and energizing. I think people who lead with purpose, and I put myself in that category, have the best jobs in the world. And I think it's what brings companies along, and it allows us to sort of be bigger than ourselves. So anyway, I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I know I don't want to conflate charity and making money, but I think that people should want to join you as you lead Lyft much higher. Thank you so much to David Risher, the CEO of LYFT. You're good, man. I'm going to take you up on your pledge. Look out.
All right.
Coming up, if rates have peaked, where does real estate go from here? Part 3 of Cramer's series answers the big question of what if? Next.